The Hornets double dipped in back-to-back picks in the second round, and at pick 34, they bring in Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton, a four-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East. Dion, remember that, Dion. Remember that for your critiques. I love Kalk the player. I think he offers such a high floor just with his ability to completely shut things down at the rim. There are quotes from Creighton's assistants throughout the draft process saying that they didn't ask him to switch much, like that wasn't their scheme. They wanted to keep him at the basket because that is just the style they preferred to play. It works more in college. You can get away with drop coverage more easily. And yeah, he was the best in the country at it. But the Creighton coaching staff believes he can switch. There were instances of him getting switched onto the perimeter where he moved his feet. And at the same time, really good lob threat, great hands, great positioning, and can step out and knock down the occasional three. Feels again like a safe pick, matching the theme we've seen of the Hornets draft so far. But I'm going to turn to you, Dion, because I know you're a lot lower than Kalk than I am, or excuse me, lower on Kalk than I am. So I want to hear your pushback to hyping up this pick.
I mean, I think the NBA is low on him too, right? Like four-time Big East Player of the Year. He won what, 35th?
Yeah, 34th. That
Honestly, my
number's
bad.
important.
Excuse me.
Top
Um,
40 pick. It's an accomplishment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he might play a few years. Um, like I just, that's great that they believe he can switch, but like he didn't. So like, and I also, I also don't know what benefit it is to have a switchable big who's also a phenomenal rim protector, and you don't use him in a switchable role, right? Like, if the Wolves could let Rudy Gobert switch or not switch, like they would love for him not to switch because when he does switch, it's terrible. But he's also like, um, you know, maybe one of the best rim protectors of all time. Like, I don't want to give Rudy too much credit because I do think he's food, but I also think Kalk's food at the end of the day. And I think the Creighton coaches told on themselves a little bit in that comment, if I'm being completely honest, respectfully. Like, if you actually don't want a 7'1", 270-pound rim protector to switch when you think he's switchable, if I'm the AD, I'm like, yo, let's chat. Like, let's have a conversation and see like where we're at. Like, are we sure we're playing the same sport as everybody else? And I understand in the college game, it's easier to get away with that.
Mhm.
It ain't that much easier though. Like it ain't that much easier. Like I think Purdue got away with it with Edie for a while, but every time they lost, it's like, how did they lose?
Mhm.
Switch. May I
Mhm.
have this dance, Zach Edie? You know what I mean? So like at the same time, like it's not like we didn't see Ryan Kalkbrenner switch respectfully to everybody involved. Like we know what can happen. I think if he's able to in a limited role in the NBA. I think he could play for a very long time in a limited role. But I think some of his deficiencies are going to prevent him from playing extended roles on teams. And also just the path that the game's gone at the NBA level, unfortunately, is a little bit different than what his path as a player is too.
Yeah, yeah. I see where you're coming from. I'm not saying that he for sure is like I don't think he's going to be able to replicate what Mark Williams was doing down the stretch of last year. You know, Williams is just a different level of athlete. It's kind of that. That's it. You know, he's bouncier, he's more mobile. Kalk is a true 7'2" with a 7'6" wingspan. So you got all the skills there. And I think he is probably more fleet of foot than you would assume watching a 7-foot white guy. But that being said, I think that is a fair critique to say, you know, with Creighton, if you thought he could switch, why didn't you let him switch more? Same time, definitely not a bad take right here. There's clearly a glaring need in the front court with Williams out. Is there anything that like a path to? Well, I was gonna say, what would be a path to playing time for him this year? And even are there any skills that you look at? It's like that's gonna translate pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean he's a lob threat, and that's what LaMelo needs most. I think there is a very big path to him playing. I just want to point out, if Mark Williams never hurts his back, this pick never happens, right? Like they moved off of Mark Williams because he began to move like Ryan Kalkbrenner, ultimately. You know what I mean? Like if we're
Yeah.
being completely honest, like if the Mark Williams of his rookie year, like with the back injury still existed, that's the center that any NBA team wants. And maybe hopefully he can get back to it. But like the version of Mark Williams that they got is similar to what Ryan Kalkbrenner is, and they moved off of him for the 29th pick and a future from the Devin Booker Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And they tried to move off of him for Dalton Connect. So I don't know. I would caution people on Kalkbrenner. but he's a lob threat. He's
Mhm.
a lob threat, and he's a great rebounder, and he's a great rim protector. So I think there's a way that he can play. Steven Adams feels to me like the comp for him that I would like the most.
I like that a lot. I like the Adams shout. That definitely seems like, the path for him, filling that same role and being in the league over a decade. And even going back to the path to playing time. Right now, the only real competition at the center spot is Yusuf Nurkic. And
Big Nurk's on Charlotte?
he finished this past season there.
Really? What did they move for him? Oh, Nick
Uh,
Richards. Nick Richards and them. I'm sorry. I should know that. My bad.
I don't think he was in the Nick Richards trade. It was a 2026 first round pick. Oh, excuse me, it was Nurkic and a 26 first for Cody Martin, Vasilije Misic, and a 2026 second round pick.
Okay, so Nick Richards. So like
They traded him with the Suns, so I think
the
that's
Hornets and the Suns just love trading with each other.
yeah, they do. That's
Got it.
the clear takeaway here. But yeah, Kalk could get a lot of playing time this year. We'll see how it shakes out.